Africa is experiencing a drain as people with highly sought-after skills look for greener pastures outside the country. Corruption and crime are some of the leading factors that make most people move abroad. And this week, a Future of Leaders Summit took place in Sandton. The summit brought together top leadership voices from across South Africa to examine the key dimensions of co-creating the future of leadership. For more now, we're joined by Dr. Nik Eberl from the Future Leader Forum and to tell us more. A very important gathering, that summit, at a very important time. I'm sure you would agree. How do you even get past the first point of discussion at the top of the agenda saying, well, how can we sit here and talk about future leaders if the vast majority of them are looking to leave the country?
Well, good evening, Marcelle and viewers. And this survey that was done by PPS, the so-called Student Confidence Survey, the biggest reason why graduates don't have confidence in the country is unemployment, is the lack of employment prospects. So obviously that's at the top of the agenda. How do we create employment opportunities, right? And there are opportunities, especially in tourism. If you look at what Cape Town is doing, for example, they have a bumper season, the highest foreign visitors ever this year in December. There's massive opportunity in agriculture. For example, India employs 44% of her people in agriculture. And there's great opportunity in business process outsourcing, call centers, right? Where South Africa is already leading the world. So it's a matter of leaders coming together across different spheres of society and working together to achieve more, you know, very much like the Springboks are doing.
Yeah, very much so. And speaking of the Springboks, I think of the word hope. And in as much as you speak about rising unemployment or the lack of the prospect of growth in the sphere of job opportunities, how much of a factor does it play that our young people feel like they don't have any hope, they don't have anything to look forward to in the country? Jobs being one thing, but what about a safer way of life? What kind of family life they can build if they're looking further down the line? How important are those factors when looking at what we can do to try and ensure that less and less of the cream of the crop leave the country?
Look, we're all hoping for a better future, and hope and energy, collective energy, is absolutely key to our collective well-being. So if you look what happened in '94, the elections, 1995, the World Cup, Rugby World Cup, '96, Africa Cup of Nations, Madiba, that created so much energy, so much hope, and so much momentum that we had 36 quarters of GDP growth, quarter on quarter, 36 unheard of, unparalleled ever since in the world. And so hope is absolutely critically important. And if you look back in many ways, the Future of Leadership Summit is a 2010 leadership legacy project, because there was much hope in 2010, and it had a lot to do with the leadership all the way from President Beki. Everybody was aligned to the vision of making it a great success, the most successful World Cup ever. And so everybody was aligned, government, business, civic society, churches, the people in the street. And there was a massive ROI, right? And there was a lot of hope. So how do we recreate that hope? We can see it's being recreated right now as we speak. And again, it's the Springbok factor, right? So in my view, in my experience, having analyzed societies, the history of societies for 100 years, it has a lot to do with us coming together and working together, step by step, to overcome the challenges, whether that's food, water, electricity, and take it one step at a time, right? And that does create hope, because then you have tangible outcomes.
Now, your summit looked at specific factors of interest, amongst them leadership diversity, AI and technology, financial inclusion, and entrepreneurship. You then say that the outcomes of the summit will be ongoing timelined working groups that will focus on specific topics, and that also will be aligned with the CEO initiative as well. How do you prevent this from just being another talk shop?
It's a good question, and it's not even a workshop. It's an action shop, because already the dates have been set for 16, 17 May, where we're going to host the second edition, and where we're going to take the issues that have been identified, and we're going to go into innovation workshops. We're going into design thinking. We're going to work with one of the leading design thinking schools in the world in Cape Town, and we're going to get these leaders together to co-create solutions that we can then apply across the country, not just Joburg and Cape Town, but in all provinces.
Okay, we're going to leave it there. It seems we have lost your audio. Dr. Nik Eberl is from the Future Leader Forum, and he's joined us virtually from Johannesburg, even though he had a beautiful picture of Cape Town behind him. We thank him for his time this evening.